we're just going to jump right into it. How do you know you have gone through trauma? How do you know you've gone through trauma? Trauma is a deeply distressing or disturbing experience that overwhelms your ability to cope with everyday tasks, with everyday going in and coming out, with everyday living, with everyday being. Trauma just hinders that from happening. Personally, I did not know I had gone through trauma till I was about 14 years old, thanks to the Oprah Winfrey Show, thanks to lots of novels and magazines that I have read. And I saw people who came out to say they had gone through exactly what I went through. And that was when I started to piece the puzzles together and I discovered that, oh my God, I had gone through the same thing. And it now makes sense some of the signs that I was exhibiting then. And even now, because we all know the healing is not a one time and I'm done. Healing is, continuous. It is a process. It is as you go. I'm not done healing, and that's why this channel is called For Healing Girls. It's for women, it's for girls that are, on their healing journey and understand that healing is a process. So as I said, I didn't know I had gone through trauma till I was 14. And it now began to make sense some of the things that some of the signs, some of the emotional stresses and everything that I have seen myself going through. And then number one is that I just discovered that I was having memories, I was having flashbacks of the event. So number one sign is you begin to have flashbacks and memories of the event that happened, the accident or the incident that happened that is causing you trauma right now. You start to dream, you might even be having vivid dreams, you might be having nightmares, you might not be able to um, sit down without just feeling this distorted image coming up and reminding you that, oh, you went through that. So in my case, I was shocked, when I finally realized that I had gone through that. It had been somewhere in my memory, but it came to the forefront. When I realized I had gone through what I had gone through, I was shocked, and then I began to draw down. We'll discuss that later in the video, but number one sign is what flashbacks and memories, dreams, nightmares, just things coming to you to remind you that you've gone through trauma. Number two sign is emotional distress and mood swings. I remember a time my friends were almost calling a meeting on my head because I was constantly moody. For years, I was constantly moody. I don't talk to anybody in the house except, on occasion. And then some days I'll just wake up and I'll be very happy. And before you know it, the next minute I'm also back to being sad and unhappy. And I didn't realize that this were all as a result of what I had gone through as a child. So if you have an emotional mood swings, you're having emotional distress rather, you're having mood swings, you're having anxiety, you might even be having panic attacks. This might just be a sign that you've gone through trauma. And number three sign is avoidance and numbing. Personally, there's a particular sweet, that for years I could not really put in my mouth because it will remind me of some things that happened, some of the incident that happened as a child. So I'll avoid that sweet. I avoided some people, yes. I avoided family, I avoided certain places because they reminded me of that trauma. And sometimes I was just numb. Even now, as a Forhibian girl, even as an adult, I still have those days of numbness where I'm not feeling anything. I'm not happy, I'm not sad, I'm just there, I'm just indifferent to life. These are signs, this might be signs that you've gone through trauma. And then we have the number four being hyperarousal and hypervigilance because trauma can just create a heightened state of alertness and sensitivity. You just become alert and sensitive. Maybe when somebody opens the door and they bang the door, you're easily startled, you're jumpy, you constantly are on edge, you can't just not pick up, signs in your environment. This might be a sign that you've gone through trauma. If there's one word that have constantly come to my life that people have used to describe me constantly is oversensitive or hypersensitive or overly sensitive. I think the term is highly sensitive. Yeah. People don't know you're sensitive. So people mean it as a compliment, and some people mean it to sort of hurt me. Well, I am at a place where I understand that this is as a result of what I went through as a child. I can enter a place and I'm picking up the facial expressions of almost everyone there. I'm picking up gestures. things that probably my friends or family wouldn't see, I would see it. And this might be a superpower, but at the same time, it could ruin a good time if you let it. So this might be a sign of trauma. And then number five, we have changes in beliefs and worldview. At a point, I told myself that I don't think God exists. That's a change in worldview. That's a major change in worldview. I told myself that, oh my God, I don't think God exists because if He did exist, why did I go through what I went through at the age of 4, 5? Why? I was a baby. I was a child. Why did He see that and allow it to happen? Why didn't He send an angel with a sword to slay people on my behalf? So my worldview changed for a very long time, and I kept battling with my faith. I'm a Christian. I kept battling with my Christian faith. I kept battling with if I believed in God. I was angry at God. And then I started to say things like, oh, the world is unfair, nobody cares about you, you're on your own. And all those things are really unhealthy things to tell yourself. And we'll discuss a lot of this as time goes on other videos. But I just want you to know that it's okay if you're currently going through this. It is totally fine. There is no reason for you to beat yourself up. If you're at that point where you think God does not exist, or you've just lost faith in humanity and you feel hopeless, that's why we're here to just talk you through it, and let's just see how we can all come out on the other side a little bit better than yesterday. So all these are signs this person has probably gone through trauma. I would like to state here that these signs are not definite. They're not set in stone or set in rock that, oh, if you're having all the signs, you've gone through trauma. You're still going to need a licensed psychologist to sort of, you know, take you through a series of tests to make sure that you have gone through a major incident that is causing you trauma. Now, let's also say that trauma is not the event that happened to you. For example, if you were raped, you- the rape was an incident that happened, and what you're currently going through as a result of that rape is called trauma. It's the trauma. It's the trauma from the rape. So they're two different things, yeah. And I just want to add a subtopic here because here on the Hidden Girls, I can't just give you the signs and leave you hanging. I have to give you something to hold on to for yourself and to just help you through this times if truly you've gone through trauma. And the subtopic is, so what do you do if you've gone through trauma? What should you do? What should you do? I just have two major things to say, yeah, before we end the video. Number one, take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. As a for healing girl, it's sad to hear. I remember when someone told me that for the first time, and I read it in a book, and I have heard um, people say it on the Oprah Winfrey show. I've heard people, I've read characters say it in novels. I've heard a lot of people tell me, see, as a for healing girl, nobody is coming to save you. You just have to do the groundwork. It's sad. It saddened me when I heard that. But as I'm growing, as I'm learning, it's true. It rings true each and every day. Nobody is coming to save you. You have to take charge of your life. You have to take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself could mean anything. It could mean making sure that when you're feeling down, you have people who you could talk to. You have yourself. You love yourself. You're working on self love. You're working on being a better person. Some people have said that as a for healing girl, one thing that gives them fulfillment is work and adding value to the world. So if that works for you, please go ahead. But at the same time, don't summarize or don't drown yourself rather in work and forget that you are more than work. Take care of yourself. If you're feeling down, even if it's just brushing your teeth in the morning, please do. I remember times that I wake up and I don't feel like eating. I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to be on bed. No. And I'll tell myself, okay, do you know what? If you're not going to beat now, could you at least brush your teeth? And sometimes those self talks go a long way to help me to just get on with my day because I just have to show up. I have a family to take care of. I have um, work to add value to. And then another thing is journaling. I journal a lot. It saddens me that I can't find quite a number of my journals from when I was a teenager I journal a lot, and that just helped me to sort of process my feelings and process what I was feeling at the moment. And then number two, and my last point is please surround yourself with people who genuinely care about you, people who are authentic, people who are not judging you for what you had gone through. Whatever you went through is not your fault. If there's any tiny voice telling you that it's your fault, I want you to not believe that voice. Whatever you went through, it's not your fault. And you deserve people who believe that too as well. If you were raped, for example, it's not your fault that you were raped. There are people out there who believe that you had the fault in it, but I promise you that you have no fault in it. So you need to surround yourself. You need a small army of people who love you genuinely, who are authentic, who see you, because that goes a long way. That goes a really, really long way. I have a coven of girlfriends who I can talk to about almost anything, but most especially, I have myself. You have to build a relationship with yourself. So I'm just going to leave you with these two tips. I want you to go through the signs and just journal, have a little bit of cold, just journal and let's know in the comment section like which of the signs do you really see yourself going through or you've seen yourself going through. And leave a comment down below and I try my best to reply everyone's comments. And as time goes on, I'm going to put an email address where we could just talk. You could send me emails, and I promise that I will definitely, reply you on everything. So I just want to say thank you for sticking with this YouTube channel, for sticking with this video. And I just want you to share this video with every woman, every girl that you think needs this gospel that we're reaching here. I want you to give this video a thumbs up. I want you to comment. I want you to share. And don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel because big things are coming from the For Healing Girls YouTube channel. Thank you very much and do have a pleasant week.